welcome you all to the panel discussion. So we were discussing Nxt-Tech automation in manufacturing, and manufacturing industry is undergoing substantial changes, and technology is enabling faster change. So it's a common question for you all. As automation is increasingly permeating the manufacturing sector, what new opportunity do you envision emerging as a result? To start with, I would ask Dr. Sumit to share his views.
Thank you, Gopalji. Actually, there are a lot of because once the automation is not a single day task, it is very much difficult. The country like India, because as I'm the professor, I'm training, providing the training to my students. So that there is a drastic change. We are just shifting from the traditional manufacturing to the automated system. We are talking about the artificial intelligence, the machine learning tools and techniques. So it's not easy. It's very much difficult. When there is a change something, because now we are shifting from we shifted from industry 4.3 to 4, and we are now shifting 4 to 5. It is very much difficult. But yes, actually, we are trained the students in a way what the exactly industry is required. That is the most focus, because we are developing our curriculum such a way that we should have to keep ready student as a industry demand, right? That is the one thing. And also we have focus upon the needs and requirement, because if you see that industry wants the n number of thing, then there are a lot of changes are going on. But as a the university or the academic institutions, we are not able to produce the manpower which is much required. That is the lagging between the industry and academia in India, right? Because if you see, if we compare the curriculum or all the setups of teaching and learning, in UK or other countries, America, everything, we have something, we are lagging behind, because there is a connection between the academy and the industry is very, very less. So that is why what we are I'm thinking about, that we should have to connect with each other. This is the platform. It's a good platform where we have discussed, we communicate all these factors, that what is much required by the industry and how we can produce them. Because until unless we are not able to produce the product which is much required by the industry, that is very much difficult to implement the automated system or artificial intelligence system. So that is the one thing which we have focus upon. And also the industry want that they have to help the technical institutions, the academic institutions, to provide the requirement, the needs and requirement, that such kind of manpower will be required. And they should have to support the industry, as Manoharji tells, that there are different type of platform which is openly available. So yes, the industry and the academic institution come together to fill out this gap, and so that we can achieve our target as much as possible, and which is much required by for the manufacturing industries nowadays.
Thank you very much for sharing this fabulous idea. Of course, academy and industry bond has to be nurtured very well. So, would you like to share your views, Mr. Manohar? What new opportunities do you envision emerging?
I definitely would like to second Mr. Dr. Sumit Gupta's view that industry and academia has to work. I think it's only lacking in India. I find it very extensively. There's interaction in other parts, whether it's Europe or US or China, for example. It's very closely working in India. Currently, it is more in the IITs, NITs, triple ITs applicably. Just to get into, I think, private university to some extent, we have to get into more deeper. That's my, I think I would like to ensure that, yes, we can work. I mean, as VDMA and OP, as a representative of OPC Forum India, we would like to work very closely with the academia and take this smart manufacturing industry 4.0 to I mean, today we talk industry I.0, where there's 4 or 5. Today, different numbers are coming up. So that's a challenge. And coming back to your question, Mr. Gopal Krishna, then there are a lot of new products. I mean, if you see on the shop floor, you have different on subtractive manufacturing. You have your N-axis machines. It was 5, 6, now N-axis, even robots also. I mean, I was the other day at the Intex, I was surprised to see Siemens come out with 2 N-axis robots and doing everything on the shop floor. So there are different products coming in. Now what we, and yeah, of course the additive manufacturing, which is the new technologies. Today it is not only additive, it's also subtractive. I mean, your machines manufacture by one of a member company, DMG, they do both subtractive, I mean additive plus milling process, subtractive. So there are a lot of machines that are on the shop floors, and all these machines have to talk. So we need a standardized communication language. The transportation layer is changing now. Today we had I know, I mean, if you are looking shop floor, you had old type of Profibus, etc. Then we had Profinet, then you have Ethercat, and today you have Ethernet, and then you have 5G today. I mean, 5G is, I mean, today industry is able to get licenses for 5G uh, as an organization, license player. So that's something that's big, that's coming up. The communication is there. Most important currently security. I think people should look, they neglect on the shop floor the security. That is the most vulnerable point, especially on the edge devices. I mean, whether it's HMI connect or the edge connect, whatever you're doing. I mean, edge can be as simple as a gripper to a router, etc. So these have to be secured. If they are not secured, you need to have protocols, a standard communication layers that secure these. Otherwise, if you're not doing this, then tomorrow, as I mentioned to you, as simple as a very small, which is not, doesn't even cost $10 sensor, or it can be hacked and taken. An organization can take the entire ERP down. So it's as simple as that. So you need to have secured security on the shop floor, which is built. So there are a lot of things which is shaping today industry, and I foresee tomorrow. I mean, with this information, with a lot of data coming out of this, now data is humongous, and you need to have standardized data which helps you to slice the data, and analyze the data, and visualize in a very nice way. I mean, you've got a lot of visualization tools to do that today, but that apart, but at the end of the day, you need to ensure that what insights you need. People have to know what should I mean, information is available. Now, what do I need to do with this information? How do I analyze it? How do I take action? That is important. Today, people, I mean, just for the sake of information, assimilating information and keeping quiet is not important. You need to take actions, steps that productively drive the organization or the process to greater scale. So that is something that I think you should do it. I mean, the technologies are changing by the day today as we speak in various parts of the world. But in India, if you want to look at it, we should see if India has double whammy. We also have a huge population that needs it. We have almost 1 million people coming out of the coming into the workforce. We need to employ them. So we need to very sensibly plan how do we employ these people. Also, how do we get into smart cells, what I call it. I mean, you heard of smart cells in production. How do we get into smart cells in production so that we can get it to a greater level? So I would say yes, technologies keep evolving, but it depends upon how do we deploy and what is the purpose of deploying. Is there an ROI for us to get this benefit? All this has to be looked from a very broad spectrum, analyzed, and then taken a decision, rather than just I want to involve. I mean, for the sake of purpose, for the sake of getting into smart manufacturing, let me not deploy smart manufacturing. Please find a purpose, look at ROI, and look at talent. Talent is something that we need to look at seriously, which I think, I mean, that's what I would like to talk to you. I mean, we are looking steps in talking to universities today to take it to a greater level. So we would like to see that talent is also geared up to the current today. The curriculum is, I don't know how the curriculum, I mean, yeah, I've been 30 years old out of engineering, so I don't know how the curriculum looks today, but it should be evolved across to meet the current contemporary standards, contemporary technologies. Otherwise, it's going to be a big challenge across.
Thank you, Mr. Manohar. Uh, Contemporary academics have to be included. I think Mr. Dr. Sumit would have noted this. So data analysis is very important. So coming to Mr. Rajas, what are your views about this?
Yeah, sure. So I agree with both the panelists, Dr. Sumit as well as Manoharji, that the academics and the bridge between academics and industry is very, very essential, and it should be fostered further. I would also agree with Manoharji in saying that finding purpose of doing automation is really very important. The opportunities, what I see in terms of new automation brings into the table. I think first of all, it will increase the productivity by tremendous way because it will free up the time from people from taking mundane decisions or analyzing data themselves or delaying or since uh, data is available and the analysis is also available, you don't have to spend a lot of time. You actually find out what the problem is and you can fix that problem in a lesser time. It will also improve productivity because you have systems like Cobots or systems like prescriptions available to you while you're working on the shop floor or taking decisions. Now, like till 3 years back, we were where things were getting predicted. You were predicting how much would be my energy consumption or what would be the quality of my product. But now the automation industry 4.0 is evolved to such an extent that you get prescriptions out of these solutions. They tell you exactly in terms of your production recipe what changes you should do so that you will get a better result of production from next time. So this in turn reduces uh, the gap where you spend time on analyzing data and then taking decision after a week or so after you have the data. So it will anyway increase the productivity. It will also actually help the shop floor person to reduce their defects or their inefficiencies and for example go home early actually instead of doing an overtime to say on a lighter note. So production productivity improvement and it also brings in a lot of new opportunities because earlier the software was game of only computer scientists or electronic scientists. Now with this advanced solutions, there are even platforms which help you build your AI model with the help of parameters on the plant. The only condition is you should have domain knowledge of how process works. And if you know the process well, you can have your AI model readily working for you. So this has, I think, bridged the gap between the different streams of engineering, streams of knowledge. People are interoperable in that sense, and anybody can get benefits out of automation. I think that's the productivity improvement. I think is the biggest winner here.
For sharing your views, Mr. Rajesh. Mr. Manohar, coming to you, there was a question in the question box. It's asking, Mr. Dinesh Pandey is asking, is OPC similar to MIB used for IT and network management? And how will they get integrated with the standards of IT network? MIB, I think he's talking about
Management information
management
base.
information
Yeah,
base.
yeah,
Yeah.
management. I think that is more a IT sort of. I mean, in a network, I think if you look at it in a network, you need to store data of various devices, and that devices. I would not say it is. I would say corollary could be very close, but not exactly because if you look at it in IT network, the products are very few. I mean, very few in number. But if you look at a shop floor, the products are as diverge. I mean, an organization, any intelligent device on a shop floor is something that needs to be connected. Let's be very clear. When I say any intelligent, any device that is can emanate zeros or ones, put it that way, bytes, is need to be connected. So all the device have to be what to say named. I mean, you need to have a combined specification, and that can be sector. Robots can be different, sensors can be different, bearings can be different. Bearings today are intelligent today. Let's accept the fact. You have so various things. So that way, I think when I look at, I would say very closely, you could look at it. Yeah, could be corollary, but yes, but and also if you look at MIB, it follows SNMP, the simple networking protocol. That's its management protocol. SNMP it follows. Whereas here you can follow a lot of other protocols. I mean, you have many protocols. It is protocols independent. Whereas in the MIB it's SNMP only. So there are difference. There are very close but widely different. It's a much broader picture. But unless SNMP is in a MIB is in a air cooled environment, whereas you see where you deploy OPC is a shop floor, which is today, yes, today they're air conditioned. Most of the shop floors are air controlled, temperature controlled, but yes, and also dusty, of course. So there, it is in a very robust environment. So there are big differences, but yes, in terms of corollary, could be quite close. Yeah.
I think Mr. Dinesh would have got the essence of what Mr. Manohar is trying to um, explain. Mr. Manohar, you're talking about the OPC platforms in your presentation. So with integration of AI and machine learning in manufacturing process, how are companies ensuring security and integrity of the data systems as well?
OPC, as such, Open Platform Communication for Unified Architecture, is based on IEC 62541 framework. Okay, you can look at it. It's a standard. It's a standard. It is internationally followed. Indian engineering communication. So it is a very basic standard which has security inbuilt into it as a process, as a protocol. The entire data is transferred securely across between devices, between OT to IT also. Now you have the entire, for example, I mean, any HMI device, any intelligent device. Today, for example, any machine that's coming out of Germany is OPC compliant, for your information. I showed you some out of, we have 36 sectors. If I remember right, some 14 sectors OPC compliant, another 6 to 7 sectors are under work in progress. Some are looking at and evaluating it. So most of, for example, plastic, all blow molding machines, injection molding machines coming out of Germany would be OPC compliant. So I plug it onto the shop floor. It automatically senses, yeah, it is me. And I have to communicate this data at this frequency in this format to the next OPC platform. This OPC platform can then take the data and can integrate to MES, manufacturing execution systems, and then further to your ERPs, SAPs of the world. So the data can be seamlessly transferred. And for your information, right from the edge or any HMI later on the shop floor to your ERP is highly secure because it follows a standard. There's a standard being, it's based on, designed on a standard. So from that, I think it's beyond the scope of this talk to describe the standards and its features and benefits, but anybody can Google it out and look at it. It's also available in opcfoundation.org website. And in fact, VDMA has been organizing several seminars every year. In fact, last year we had OPC Foundation President Stephen Opie and the Vice President Thomas come down to India. We did it in Pune and Bangalore. So we also went and did various met up with CMTI, ISC, BIS team. So we are looking at how this as a framework gets propagated across the industries and ensure that adoption is faster. Today you have 5 machines on the shop floor. In each machine needs to talk. You build an API application programming interface to communicate between the machine. And if you have several such APIs, your latency increases. By the time you get transferred, it's not real-time data. So there is a microseconds of latency. So to avoid all that, you need a standard to be followed on the shop floor. It is practiced across the world. India needs to adopt it and move it at a very quite quicker space. That's what we would look at it across.
Thank you, Mr. Mano, for sharing those points. The standards must be adopted, as you rightly said. Coming to Dr. Sumit, you're talking about the sustainability needs as well as 6Rs using advanced technology. So what factors will you suggest for automated production systems for sustainable manufacturing?
For sustainable manufacturing, as I say, the sustainability, because sustainability is not a single term, it comes with a lot of, factor. Sustainability in terms of either you are implementing in the product development phase or implementing in process or, supply chain or, 6R. So when we talk about the 6R, that is the post-use processes, as I already told you that, because the consumption is very, very high nowadays. So we don't stop the consumption, but we should have to identify the various, we can say the alternatives, where the 6R concept play a very, very important role. And the important thing is that now today we are talking about the circularity, the concept of circular economy, which is directly focused upon, this 6R concept, that how we can reuse, recycle, remanufacture, and, redesign. Now, once we talk about the circularity, so these automation or industry 4.0 tools and technique play a very, very important role. Sometimes what will happen, whatever waste is being generated and we have to recycle that waste. So how efficiently we are, recycling that? How what is the productivity of this waste, right? So that is very much important, that we should develop the kind of automated system, the machines where we have put that waste and it will be turned out certain good product, which is much usable, right? So automation play a very important role, but we should have to think about it in terms of economical sustainability, whether it is being economical or not, because sustainability has three terms: the environmental, economic, and social. So sometimes we get the environmental sustainability, sometimes we get the social, but what about the economical sustainability? That is the most important, because once we are using the 6R concept, or the concept of circular economy, it doesn't mean that we are achieving the sustainability. So it is very much perfect, important that we should have to think and identify which is the process where we can get not only the economical, but we have to get the environmental and social sustainability by applying the automated system. Unfortunately, in our country, we are lagging behind in terms of the technology, especially the small and medium enterprises, SMEs. The large scale company they are implementing these things because they have a lot of fun, but the small SMEs are they are not able to do, they are not able to implement these digital technology. Although the government of India is providing certain type of funds, but that fund is not limited. I mean, that fund is very, very less in terms of implementing these technologies. So we should have to focus upon identify the core area where it is much beneficial, identify the technology, and then we should have accordingly implement that so that we can get the fruitful results, right?
Thank you, Dr. Sumit, for sharing your opinion about the economic sustainability. Coming to Mr. Rajas, Dr. Sumit just now mentioned about the environment and the economical sustainability. So, in your view, how automation technologies are contributing to modern manufacturing environments?
Sure. So environment is a very, very key factor. There is a lot of time ESG, EHS departments are there in manufacturing plants, and as Dr. Sumit has rightly said it, there is a UN initiative of using the sustainable ways to manufacture and reduce the waste. I think with the help of Industry 4.0 or digital transformation, it can help in multiple ways. First and foremost that comes to my mind is energy optimization projects that are being taken by multiple manufacturing plants nowadays, whereby first and foremost they help you measure. These new automation technologies help you measure your consumption, create new KPIs that can help you correlate your energy consumption with the production that you're making, or the policies or operational practices that you're following. So which in turn gives a second level insight of how good, how bad you're doing, or whatever you're doing, how it is impacting your energy consumption. So this automation reveals you a pattern in front of you, which can be acted upon, which can help in reducing the energy consumption. Now, why energy consumption helps environment is because you produce lesser energy, you need lesser energy. So of course your coal consumption goes down, because most of the power being generated today in India is out of coal. The other methods are the renewables, of course. Solar plants, like by 2030, India has a massive goal of converting a lot of energy that is being consumed with the help of solar or renewable techniques. So renewable, though the technology is not automated, but automation will come in solar and windmills right from day one. The conventional power plants have been automated, after they were built and run. But this automation will help them from the day one. For example, in solar renewables as well, the energy consumption, energy prediction, the penalties, etc., will be useful in converting the environmental factor. In a nutshell, energy, even if it look at the energy, the automation is going to help a lot. Again, with automation, the predictive maintenance, reducing the downtime, they will help you maintain the machines more, the lesser wear and tear, so lesser spare parts, lesser wastages with the help of quality initiative. Lesser wastages means lesser wasted material, lesser wasted energy, lesser wasted operational hours. So automation helps you measure and then identify the pattern, which in turn will definitely help you improve upon sustainability and environment, I think.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Rajas. Dr. Sumit, coming to you again. He's talking about, Mr. Rajas just mentioned about the predictive maintenance and other thing, and you were mentioning about life cycle analysis in the presentations. So according to you, what measurable benefits have companies experienced by integrating automation into their manufacturing operations?
Especially in terms of the life cycle assessment, because now it is very much a tedious task in industry, that how we can the data collection is very much difficult for life cycle analysis, because at each and every stage of the product development process we should have to collect the data which is required by the different type of software. Especially I'm talking about the Gabi software or Open LCA, when we use that that different platform. So the important thing is that we should have to provide the best possible solution in terms of automation or the digital transformation tools and techniques. Especially I'm talking about the sensors, the IoT, which the sensor will collect the data, the capture the data, and through the IoT it is being stored on a cloud. So by using these things, these technology, we not only improve the capability of the process, the efficiency of the system, but also we should have to reduce the the manpower, the we can say the efforts. So in terms of life cycle analysis, the automation play a very, very important role. Now, once it is being captured and stored on a cloud, we should have to use the different type of data analytics tools, especially the machine learning tools and technique, and we identify what are the different factors in terms of the different emission, the CO2 emissions, or toxic gases. What are that thing which is hazardous to the environment, and how we can optimize that. How, and we develop the different type of machine learning model through the predictive modeling, and we make a strategy that these are the factor, and according to that factor we identify, use the strategy to reduce that emissions, so that we can achieve the sustainability by implementing the digital transformation tools and techniques. This is how we have to talk about the real-time life cycle analysis.
Thank you very much. That was knowledge worth sharing. So coming to Mr. Manohar, so many things are developing, and what future technology do you see for the automation, taking in view the collaboration possibilities of cobots and skilled operators?
See, something that is happening around the world, which is, I think, yet to see light of the day in India, is digital platforms. I think that is something that is yet to see the light in India. Digital platforms is something that's, I mean, I'm not talking of B2B platforms which use a supplier network across, but a proper digital platform encompassing across the multi-layer system in an organization, in a factory, in a factory across, including its entire systems or ecosystem. That's something that is required. Digital platforms, and now these digital platforms, there is one different ways of doing it, and there are different methods of doing it. I would not like to delve deeper into this beyond, because it's more correctly, some of them are quite proprietary at this moment, so it is not, but that's something that would shape India and take it forward. The second I would look at it is, we have always heard contract manufacturing across. There are some people doing contract. Foxconn and all these mobile manufacturers are all contract manufacturers, if you can understand. But today, what we can look at it, manufacturing as a service. That's something, another one which a lot of things would shape it across. There are some organizations, don't want to name them, but yes, look at it. But you need the capabilities required are different, and you need to have different. Uh, you need to know how you could look at it from a holistic point of view. The process, methods, systems are all different. So there are a lot of other technologies that not only technologies but also methods of manufacturing shaping the world today. But then all this stems from a very important fact. In fact, standards. Anything needs standardization today. What we in manufacturing forget in India is getting into these roots, because if you see the world, you buy a pressure cooker today at home, that's a standard, right? Anything that is vulnerable, because pressure cooker is explosive in the device. You have a what do you call the gas? What do you call that? the LPG cylinder, that is standard, correct? So anything that is vulnerable is standardized today. Similarly, any manufacturing processes has to be standardized. So I mean, you can't just build a factory across and try to say, hey, I'm going to get this going. But this will happen today. But India has to get increase its manufacturing exports, right? If you have to improve the manufacturing exports, you need to have quality products. If you need quality products or qualities, you need to have a proper automation, because any repetitive needs to have a process built in, and that has to come with the standard. So from that perspective, yes, the things should change. India has to move. We are looking at 1 trillion in the manufacturing GDP, probably another 6-7 years down the line from the current 500 to 600 million. So sorry, billion. So it's a long way to go. You need to double it up. So you need it's not only people, but also you need technology shaping it, and different way of looking how we adopt this technology to drive the shop floor. So this is a very holistic picture. A lot of things have been in place now. The organizations that are driving this are taking it to a different level, but we need to see that we are flexible and adopt it and take it forward.
Definitely, we have to be very flexible in adopting the technology. And it was a very engaging discussion, gentlemen.